If you remember in our video where we showed you how we cleaned out our fuel tank, replaced the fuel tank bushings for the shutoff valves and put new shutoff valves in, new fuel lines and all that good stuff, and we put everything together and we left the plate off the back of the frame, and we told you we'd be showing you why we did that later on. Well, this is later on. When we were working at all that stuff, we realized that that whole plate back there was just wobbly and loose. The bolts were coming loose on it, and a couple of them were even missing. So, rather than just tighten it up and keep it going, we had some other plans. So here's the rear plate off the frame of our Super Cub, and you can see there laying next to it is the hitch piece, drawbar, whatever you prefer to call it in your area. And that's the main reason why we took this whole plate off here, because that piece just doesn't do enough for us. I've seen some people have put a ball mount on there, rigged some stuff up, but we want to flex the muscle of this Super Cub a little bit more, and we want to use it to move around some bigger stuff and just get some more versatility out of this machine. So we're going to modify this plate so we can do just that. I was in at Harbor Freight one day and I came across this back in their towing section. It's an ATV hitch adapter, and I guess the way this is supposed to work is you take this bolt and put it down through the factory hole on your hitch area on your ATV, and then you can slide a ball mount into this. And this is perfect for what we want to do, except we're not going to use it the way it's designed. We're going to flip this thing around, and we are going to attach it to our rear frame plate like this. Now, the first thing we got to do is clean up at least the area on this frame plate where we're going to be working at. We want to be able to draw lines on it that we can see, and we got to get the paint cleaned off anyway because we're going to be welding on here. So we got our 4.5-inch angle grinder out, and we got a braided wire wheel on there. Just take the paint right off real quick, and then we'll lay out our lines. Here we got our lines laid out. This is where the tubing piece from that ATV hitch is going to mount. So we're going to cut this out with a cutoff wheel on our angle grinder. Now, before we start cutting this out with the cutoff wheel on our 4.5-inch grinder, we went and drilled some holes in the corners just to make it easier to work around those areas. We got our hole all cut out in our frame plate here, and that's where our square tubing is going to slide into this so we can weld it into place. Now, we did have to prep and modify the ATV hitch piece slightly. We had to clean all that heavy, thick black paint off of there, so we're down to a nice clean metal surface so we can weld it. And at the top, you can see that part was rounded and made a hoop. We flattened that out so we're able to get this piece to slide back in further because we want it to actually go through the back side of the hitch plate so we can weld it on both sides. We got everything lined up, squared up, and ready to go. So we're going to start tacking this piece into place on our frame plate. And once we have everything all tacked up and ready to go, we're ready to start welding this thing into place. We got everything all welded up on the outside and on the inside of our frame plate, and this is what it's going to look like. Now, you can probably see what we were getting at when we said we wanted to make this thing a little bit more versatile and how easy it was going to be by adding this piece on here. Now, here's what we were going for. We want to be able to put a ball mount on here rather than having a ball screwed into the hole on the factory drawbar piece, which if you want to tow a lawn cart around, you have to take that ball out. You got to screw around all that stuff. Here we can just slide this thing right in, use a pin to hold it in place just like on a pickup truck. Except you're probably thinking this is going to be a little too low. Well, we'll flip it over and then flip that ball up to the top, and then we'll be right at the right height. And when we want to tow our lawn cart, all we got to do is pull the pin and remove that, and we have that hole right there to tow our lawn cart. Here's our rear frame plate with our new hitch assembly, all bolted back on the tractor and ready to go. So now you're probably wondering, will it hold up? What can we do with it? Well, let's show you. Well, why not start out by towing around a 6x10 trailer with a wheel horse tractor on it and a wheel horse rototiller attachment on the trailer as well. You can see here, no problems handling it. Pulls it around nice, no extra weight added to the tractor or anything. And the hitch is at almost the perfect height, so pretty happy with those results. So whether we're pulling this trailer forward or we're backing up with it, really didn't seem to make a difference. Again, it's at pretty much the perfect height, and the tractor didn't mind it whatsoever. Now here you can see we flipped the ball mount upside down so we'd be at the right height we needed to be for towing a trailer like this. We were also able to use that hoop on the hitch adapter to be able to put our safety chains on there. And at this point, there was no extra weight added to the Super Cub, and we could stand on the hitch of this trailer, jump up and down, and the front wheels would not leave the ground. Now, if you're wondering why we didn't just mount that hitch adapter higher, so we wouldn't have to flip the ball mount upside down, well, we still want to be able to use this thing as a regular lawn tractor, too, to tow our small little lawn cart, like you see here. Remember when we said the whole reason we were doing this was because we wanted versatility. So now we just pull a pin, yank that ball mount out of there, and we're able to pull this lawn cart around, and it's just as simple as that. And you can see here, again, we're at just the right height for this lawn cart. And yeah, that is a broken 1/4-inch drive ratchet that we're using for a pin to hitch our cart to our tractor. So now we can go from towing this trailer around or towing our camper around to towing our lawn cart around without any tools necessary. Just pull the pin on the ball mount, pull it out of the way, and off you go and on to the next job. So this little $10 ATV hitch adapter from Harbor Freight, along with our Hobart gasless welder, we just used the flux core wire in this thing, nothing fancy, an angle grinder, a wire wheel, cutoff wheel, and weld this thing up, and now we can do a lot more, a lot faster with our Super Cub. Another great benefit to us of this hitch on our Super Cub that we made up is that now when we have friends and family over, for some kind of a get together or something, and we decide we're going to do a little hayride, don't have to go hoping that the Farmall Super C is going to fire up and all the stuff that comes with using a 70-year-old tractor that's been through the mill. Now we can just hitch the flat trailer right up to the Super Cub and off we go. That pretty much does it for this video, but I'm not going to ignore the elephant in the room here for any of you guys that have been paying attention to the back end of this tractor. Yes, when I bought it, there were 2 different tires on the back of the tractor, both the same size as far as the dimensions on the sidewall, but one is slightly overall smaller than the other one. And that is something else in the works, along with a few other improvements and modifications. So, if you want to be sure to catch those videos that we got coming up, make sure to subscribe to our channel and just keep checking back. All right, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching.